Hello, I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at All Things Social Security and Joy Disability Law. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to remind you that if you click the join button below, you can learn more about the memberships offered at a very affordable price that can give you a little more direct attorney answers to your questions. Have a great day and enjoy the video. Okay, so there was a recent video, and I'll try to attach it, about a bar to filing right now, even if you're disabled. And it has to do with your work, if there's some continued work. So important to know, but I had a question from somebody that says, what if the work I am doing is greater than SGA? And as you know, SGA is $1,550 for the year of 2024 per month. That is gross before taxes and deductions. And the person's asking about, what about the fact that dental and health insurance contributions are taken out of that paycheck? And therefore the take home, not including take home, after taxes. So person wasn't trying to squeeze those in there. But so a greater than SGA paycheck, but the deductions for health and dental would bring it below. Do they count? Can they be deducted? And as far as I know, no. Premiums cannot be deducted. And what we would refer to these as when we're trying to get something below SGA is impairment related work expenses. I believe I have videos on that. So IRWEs, as we call them, IRWES, impairment related work expenses. Premiums for insurances are not deductible as IRWEs to get you below SGA. However, co-pays, purchases of necessary equipment if you need it. I know like a TENS unit, if someone has to have a TENS unit to help relieve pain so they can continue going to their part-time job that is otherwise a little over SGA, those TENS units have consumables. I know someone who spent almost $25, it was $27 a month between pads and electrodes. I personally have never used a TENS unit, so I'm not even really familiar with it, but this was an IRWE that we were able to establish to knock $27 a month off of the earnings from the part-time work that was otherwise over SGA to help get it below SGA. There was a lot of co-pays too. The co-pays, by the way, as I understand it, it generally applies to specialists who are dealing with that particular disabling problem and not necessarily appointments for your annual physical that everyone has to go to anyway. It would be very specific to your disabling conditions. Now, that's not to say I can't say that if all you have is a primary care physician who treats you for your specific condition that is disabling. I have no research on this one way or another, but I would like to think or argue that yes, perhaps for the annual physical, that is a preventive wellness thing that, everyone supposedly gets or should get, regardless of any medical impairments. But what about the other visits if that primary care provider is the one that prescribes your pain medications and follows up, maybe orders the updated diagnostics over the course of time to see where that arthritis is going or what have you. Can't say one way or another, but if that was something that you had and you didn't have a specialist, I would try it. I would make the argument and show the medical record to show that you were there at that visit due to your condition. It should be in the notes. I'm here complaining about low back pain, and if you have a spinal condition, and that's one of your reasons for being held out of work or not being able to work more than, part-time, it is possible. I would make the argument anyway. I wouldn't give up on it, that even that non-specialist appointment was necessary, a necessary copay. And again, assuming you have copays, if you're on Medicaid, you probably don't even have copays, so this isn't going to help you, obviously, because someone's already, you're not expending that. But for the rest of us, some people are paying out of pocket. Some people have some sort of insurance, maybe through a spouse's work or through Medicare because they're on, So yeah, the premiums are not deductible. last I checked, and copays are particularly for a specialist, but might also be for a PCP if that visit was definitely related to your disabling impairment and you needed assistance, you needed help, you needed treatment, so that you could, go on. And never forget your medications copays. Those can really add up. I think one of the reasons ones we had, it was over $100 a month in copays. So that really helped also bring it down. And mind you, sometimes, you get medications for 3 months. You might be able to, that medication, just because you spent, $250 this month for it, you could feasibly spread it out over the 3 months because that's how much it was supposed to cover. If you need to bring down every month, that would be probably a rightful averaging of that expense, over the 3 months it covers. So again, no premiums, but look at those copays, medications and specialist appointments, and potentially your PCP appointments if they're related to getting you back to work for that part-time job. All right. I hope that clears that up, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, there's another one attached? I guess there's another one attached. All right, stay tuned. See you guys later. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, I just got off the phone with it's a consultation of sorts, but really I just consider it the review of the evaluation form someone sent in asking to be reviewed to see if they could viably file for Social Security disability or SSI. So in this case, and this is just a reminder, this gentleman is still working full-time. It's getting extremely difficult. Even his doctor says he should stop working and file for disability. I did explain to him that when a doctor says that, it's wonderful that they are on board with the concept of it, because a lot of, there are plenty of doctors, being human, that are a little biased and don't think people are necessarily unable to work, even if they might have to change jobs or something. Okay. So the fact that the doctor is supportive in a way that reflects that he thinks the person is really, really impaired and it's a health issue and or just beyond the pale in terms of working, it is a good sign, because that kind of doctor might be willing, if needed, to provide more details as to his opinion on the patient's functional limitations down the road, if that is not already clear from his records and the way he narrates them and records things. But, and this is a problem for a lot of people. How do you stop work and survive, if you don't have a financial support system so that you can file? So I did have to explain, so I'm just going to reiterate it here. You have to stop working full-time, and you have to stop working in a part-time manner that exceeds the current SGA level. SGA, substantial gainful activity. In 2024, SGA is $1,550 per month. That is gross before any deductions, including taxes. Okay. So that is a bare minimum. You can be working part-time and earning under SGA, and you can still file. Obviously, you'll have to, the proofs are still going to be the same arduous proofs. And, you'll have to prove that you're unable to perform any job full-time. But you want to keep track of your part-time work if you're doing it this way. Make sure you don't go over. If you're on set hours that with your wage keep you breathable under that SGA, that's great. If you're in the kind of job where the money varies, it could be tip earning jar, it could be commission earning, that's going to be a little more difficult. I've seen many, many times people go over because sometimes it's because they're not paying attention. Sometimes it's because they don't know what those tips are going to be. It shows up on a credit card, and meanwhile, you have all these other hours scheduled that you have to be there, and more money is going to be rolling in. So with those kind of jobs, I definitely recommend staying the money that you expect as a general average, keep it well under the SGA 1550. In my opinion, that is the best practice. So in this case, we're going to have another discussion because I think this gentleman is going to have to stop working. It is a really serious condition. It's not merely a chronic pain condition, which can certainly be a reason to have to stop working. It's a little different than that because there is some probably some health aspects that continuing to work is hurting for an otherwise very dangerous condition. So in any event, I don't know what he's going to do. Will he be able to stop altogether? It's probably not possible to get part-time work where he lives in the field he's in. So it would be part-time work of another, if he decides to go that way, of another career probably. Anyway, I leave that up to him, but I just shared the information of what has to be done before he can even file. And for those that have seen these other videos, I also suggested, and you don't file the day after you stop working in this particular instance. You're going to probably assert that as your onset date, but I do not recommend filing like that. Optically, I don't recommend it. And for practical reasons, your case is going to go headlong into it, and you may not have the medical evidence that would be best had for the kind of claim you have at that juncture because you've been working. You might have certainly medical evidence of the impairment and the diagnoses, but it may not be rising to the level that would be very persuasive that one is fully disabled from all 12,000 jobs out there, not just the one you had in that first review. And to throw away the opportunity to win on initial, I don't think is wise, particularly when reconsideration, although things do get flipped on reconsideration, is a less chance than even on initial. So I suggest having your case lined up and prepared. It doesn't take long, a few months, before you file, so that there is something for that reviewer to look at, and you're giving them more of a reason to award you on initial. The alternative is you're probably gonna have to go to a hearing, and that could be a couple years away. So anyway, you can rush, haste makes waste, or do it with a little planned guidance. Okay, so we'll see what this gentleman decides to do. I am here if and when he needs me. Very nice person, lovely person actually. And anyway, hope you all have a great night. I'll talk to you later. Bye.